beauty babes, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kitana Marie, Katie Niblet, if you know me. Let's get started. All right, come on in, you guys. I am kind of in a different setup. I'm sitting down and I want to talk about something. I'm always on here to chit chat, but today is different. We're having a real, authentic conversation about a topic that I feel is very important. Nobody really teaches us how to deal with conflict. Not in our relationships, not in school, and not in womanhood. And yet it's something that we face every day. Whether someone's competing with you or you're finding the urge to compete with them, we deal with it. So today I want to share what I think about competition and the difference in being competitive, moving in opposition, and what it means to actually run your own race. Now, let's get started. I've already prepped and primed my skin. I went in with some moisturizer and toner. I'm not gonna do any primer today because it's Labor Day and this makeup won't be on that long. So I've already went in with moisturizer. We're gonna do some color corrector. We're gonna get started. How's your guys' day going? How's your Labor Day going? I did not have to work this Monday. So I want to talk about what brings me to discuss this topic today. I had conversations with both of my younger siblings, and they are 5 and 4 years younger than me. Yeah, I think it's like 5 and 4. And I've talked to them both in the past 2 weeks, and they have talked to me about situations where someone is competing with them. And what's so funny is I'm actually dealing, to be honest, me personally, I'll never think or believe that someone is competing with me or trying to be in competition with me, because I'm so big on my own that I just can't see anything anyone is doing and think they would even remotely think that we're in competition. But I am dealing with something that I could say, okay, maybe this person is trying to compete with me. I don't know why, because it's not necessary, it's not needed, it's not warranted, but it is happening. It is happening. And I'll say it's been happening since I got out of the funk that I was in last year. But it's so interesting that my sisters bring me this situation while I'm going through this situation on my own. And I was giving them advice and I was talking to them, and then it really just hit me. No one teaches us how to deal with conflict. Yes, we know conflict will come, and we know conflict's not necessarily bad, and you can have, misunderstandings, and you can have good conflict, and you can have bad conflict, but no one really teaches us how to deal with it. So I was like, you know what, talking to my sisters, and this was 2 separate times, and as I was talking to the oldest one, I talked to the youngest one after, and I told her something different than I told the oldest one. And I just hit me that we are not taught what that looks like. So I want to sit down with y'all while I'm doing my makeup, and let's get into it. If you find this helpful, let me know in the comments. Okay, I want to start off with like the very first thing, and obviously when I'm talking to my sisters, I'm speaking a bit more plainly, but for y'all, I have to clean it up. The first thing, don't operate in competition. I don't know how many times people can tell when you're operating in competition. Now notice I'm not saying don't be competitive. Being competitive can help you. It can shape you. It can prepare you. It can set you up for success. That's not what I'm talking about. There's nothing wrong with being competitive, but don't operate in competition. Okay? When you move in opposition, you're not moving against them. You're moving against yourself. And it's so important to know the difference. When you start operating in competition, your perception becomes the problem. Which brings me to topic 2. Sorry, I'm just gonna make sure these eyebrows are correct. They're gonna be around all night. It's important for you to know the difference between your perception and reality. It's very important. So much in competition is your perception. What you perceive someone is doing, what you feel or think what is happening, your interpretation of what is being seen or what is being heard or what is not being seen or what is not being heard. All of that is you, and that is not reality. And you have to know that. We all get to a place where we are, let's say, frustrated with someone or something, and we start perceiving things differently. You know, a lot of people say, I finally saw it, I saw the signs. When I hear those things, that tells me you're looking at it from a different perspective. Whatever character, behavior, whatever you see in someone, it was always there. It was always there, okay? Always there. The character and behavior was always there. Sorry about that. The camera just cut. It was always there. It was just, you were looking at it from a different perspective. And one thing that you'll realize, perspective, is very important when it comes towards believing and seeing things that are there or are not there. You know, when you're in a relationship and you can't, you know, we all been in a space where you've been in a relationship where, you know, this person's not for you, but your perspective, you may know it's wrong, you may know this isn't good for you, but your perspective of the situation is allowing you to continue to do X, Y, and Z. Our perspective and the way we feel about the reality is very different than the reality. And we know how strong it can be when we want. And that also goes in it. When we're upset with someone or we're upset with someone, it's important for us not to add things that we don't see just because our perception of that person is changing in that moment. I've always found it, like with myself in high school, I went through something where one of my friends, I found out she was doing something like that, hurt me to the core. And I couldn't, in my mind, make her out to be a bad person. Like, the thing she did was so crazy, was so hurtful. I couldn't, in my mind, make her out to be a bad person because she had never did anything bad to me, that I tried to find a way to rationalize the poor behavior because my perception was the act was bad, you know, not necessarily her. In all actuality, she did what she wanted to do and it was wrong. But I couldn't shake the perception I had of her. I couldn't. And this was a good perception. So I say that when you feel like something's going on, take a moment. Think about awareness. You know, I'm not going to be a dictionary for you, but think about awareness. Stop, pause, take a step back, ask yourself why. You never felt that for that person before. You never seen that for that person before. What is happening? And is it actually what is happening, or is it your perception? You're now upset with this person. So you're now perceiving the things that they do as X, Y, and Z. One thing I can do is I can't lie to myself. We've all lied to ourselves for too many years that you just get to a point where you just can't lie to yourself anymore. And I think that has been me for the last 3 years. Is like me lying to myself about other things has almost prevented me from lying to myself about this new stuff that I'm going through. So I always say, you know, take a moment before you react, before you go off the rail, before you pick up that phone, before you start blocking everybody, before you set those boundaries, ask yourself, check your awareness. Is what you're perceiving actually going on, or is you feeling some way in that moment? I feel things about people in a moment that I necessarily don't feel about them in totality, in the whole. So when I'm mad, I'm angry, and I'm popping my stuff, I always take a moment to step back. Let me tell you guys, don't ever send nobody no message straight off of a wake up. And what I mean by that is, don't ever send nobody no message straight off a wake up, straight off of your first view, your first reaction. And I'm saying this because I've had multiple situations where I've, been upset, I've been feeling away, and the next morning when I wake up, I'm gonna say what I need to say. That is not ever a good idea. I'm just telling y'all, from my own personal experience, that is not ever a good idea. Because when we're so much wrapped up in ourselves and how we feel about a situation, our POV, we forget the element, so many elements, but we forget reality. Just because you perceive this like this doesn't make it true, babes. Just because you felt like you connected the dots doesn't make it true. And I think it's important for us to really know that, because when you start dealing with people who you can't, I guess, how would you say, when you start dealing with people who you can't force to think the way that you think or see things the way that you see things, you will really realize, oh snaps, it's me. And that is a hard thing to swallow. I've been in situations where I'm wrong and I knew I was right 100%. And when you have to, step aside. Some people don't. Some people will die on the hill of being right. They will kill and take everything and everyone down with them to make sure their perception, their narrative, whatever the picture that they're painting is correct. I'm not talking about that. They'll just do everything in their possible power to be right. And this is what I'll say to that. Check your awareness. Take a moment before you react, before you go off the rails, before you light them up. Take a moment, ask yourself, is this the reality or is this my perception taking over? Me being so wrapped up in my own world that I can't see outside of the reality. Outside of my own way, I can't see the reality for the situation. That will stop a whole lot of competition for you. A whole lot of moving in opposition, a whole lot of competition. Because when you realize we tell ourselves the worst is, we are our biggest critic. That's something you have to know. We are our biggest critic. We tell ourselves the craziest things because we can and nobody else can hear it. I really believe it's because we can and nobody else can hear it. No one can hear the lies we tell ourselves. No one can hear the conclusions we come up with. Whenever I come up with something or I think in my mind, oh, this is X, Y, and Z, I always take a moment. Because for one, I hate being wrong. It's not even like I hate being wrong. I just don't like when I'm wrong stupidly. So I'm always going to stop. And it's so important to stop. And this is what I was talking about with my younger sisters. Take a moment. Is what you're seeing the reality? Now, for their two situations, they're being messed with. Somebody's actively messing with them. For my situation, again, I don't ever think that let me tell you guys something about me. I'm a coach. I'm a teacher at life. I'm a boss. I've been a bossy little girl since I learned how to write my name. I've been a bossy little girl. There's a lot. I have 6 sisters. I have a lot of cousins. And I've done a lot of things first. Bossiness was always going to be in me. So I see my influence. I hear me. I see me. Trust me, I do. But I don't see it as like copying or jealous of me or anything like that. Because I'm a coach. I teach people. Cite the source. Confer with the teacher. Confer with the original source. Peer review. That's how I see what I do. So I'll never believe that anyone is in competition with me, or anyone believes that we are in competition, because you're not running my race. Which brings me into my third topic. Y'all, it's very important with dealing with competition that you absolutely know your race. This don't have anything to do with the other party. Know your race, okay? Know that your race is yours, okay? And I feel like for a lot of people, outside of real competition, not fake competition, real competition when you guys have a reason to be competing with one another. Real competition when it is appropriate, it is understandable that you guys are in a race. You can never be competing with someone you don't know you guys are not competing. That's like a big one. If I don't know we're in a race, if I don't know we're in a competition, we're not. Okay? Okay. So here's the thing. When you run a race, you run it alone. All right? Your race is a lone race. No one knows what it took for you to get here. No one knows. Your experience, your choices, your lessons. All you. No one can replace that. No one's running your race. They can try to copy you. They can wear what you wear, buy what you buy, have what you have, go after who you are after. But no one is running your race. No one is running your race. It's so important to know that. No one is running your race. So if you ever feel like someone is competing with you, just take a moment and look. There are certain things that people have done in their lives that you could never do. There's certain things that people have experienced that I could never experience. There's certain battles I walk through that someone could never walk through. There's certain things that people are going through that I could never go through. There's certain things that people put up with that I could never put up with. So know that your race is yours alone. Don't ever feel obligated to feel the need to lay claim, because your race is yours alone. You don't need to show anybody anything. You don't need to prove anything to anyone, because your race is yours alone. This is the stuff that I tell my sisters. This is the stuff that I'm telling you, any woman watching this. Your race is yours alone. No one can do what you do. No one can do what you do. No one can carry what you carry. No one can know your value. Because if they were going to, they would have. Let's just be honest. Whatever it is that you're dealing with, you're seeing with, if whatever they're doing was going to happen, it would have happened. It don't have nothing to do with you being there. You're not a factor. You're not a factor. So knowing that your race is yours alone, and whatever that other person is doing is really fueled off of their own projections. It's really fueled off of their own low self-esteem, anything. It could be so many things. Someone in their ear telling them lies. Like, it could be so many things. So don't ever feel like anyone is you guys are never, you and no one on this earth is ever in the same race. Because that's how God made it. We can be mad at that. We can feel a way about that. There will only be one Nicki Minaj. There will only be one Beyonce. There will only be one Rihanna. There will only be one Katie Niblett. There will only be one you. Live in that. Live that. Feel that. Feel it. If you ever feel like someone is competing with you, take a moment. Pause and ask yourself, are we actually even running the same race? Because 9 out of 10, you're not. Some people are on their chapter 40, pushing 40. You're barely on chapter 22. Why are you gonna feel the need? Big dog is ahead of you. There ain't no reason for them to even be looking. It says more about them looking backwards than it says about you looking forward, which you shouldn't even be trying to look over at 40. They're on their chapter 40. You gotta get to your chapter 30. Get to your chapter 25. You're 22. I'm talking to my sister, but you guys get what I'm saying. Just know that oftentimes people get sidetracked while running their race, and they'll peep over at yours. And it's okay. But just know that you are never running the same race. That's not how life works. Sadly, that's not how life works. Which brings to 4. Real competition versus side noise. In life, there's gonna be real things to push you, to show you. Real competition looks like two people go after the same goal. If you're not going after the same goal, you're not in competition. Okay? Are they trying to get your job? Trying to get your house? Trying to have your dream life? Trying to get your dream man? If none of that is the case, you guys are not in competition. That's side noise. That is, maybe it's very loud, maybe it's very irritating, but that's side noise, babes. That's side noise. Someone, buying the same thing as you, getting the same bag, buying the same shirt, the same blouse. Make sure they're actually doing it to be in competition with you, first of all. That's why I tell you guys, know the difference. That stuff is not even, someone could be in competition with you. They want to buy the same stuff that you buy, do the same stuff that you do. This is why I will never think anyone is jealous of me. I'm a coach, I'm a teacher. I'll teach you anything, simply as taking a mirror selfie, how to edit a video, how to add a sound to your video, how to add a link. I'll teach you anything, I don't care. I'll never think that anything anyone is doing is trying to copy off of me, because if we were in the same shoes, we would never do the same things. It's just simple. And that's for everyone, everywhere. There could be like side noise. People going out of their way for you to be mentioned in the same conversation, or to mention you in the conversation. That's different. That's side noise. That's going to come with life. That's going to come with going after your goals. You can't shake that. Side noise. And that side noise is there just to distract you. I let myself get so distracted at the beginning of 2024. I literally almost took the rest of the year off until something happened to where I had to take almost the rest of the year off. And looking back on that, I needed that time and I needed to reflect and I needed that clarity. But just thinking back, some things are just there to distract you. Some things are there to just knock you out your mode. And you have to know that. And you have to be okay with that and still decide to continue to show up for you. That's all it is. When someone perceives or they're doing things to be in competition with you, they're seeing that you're showing up for yourself and they want you to stop. They're seeing that you're doing for yourself. And then I see someone, she looks good, she's doing her hair, she's doing her makeup, she's keeping herself together. One person will say, oh, she looks good, she's keeping herself together, she's doing better for herself, she looks happier. Another person will say, oh, she's trying to copy off of me. I had that hair last year. Oh, I already did that before. Girl, ain't no extra hairstyles, ain't no extra clothes, ain't no extra nothing in this life. Anything that you're doing, somebody has already done it and they've done it better. Promise. Don't fall victim to the noise, the outside distractions. The outside sometimes has a better gauge of seeing you, not knowing you, but seeing you than you do. So just like it can be negative, we can see, oh, she may be a little insecure. That person may be a little weirdo. It can be positive too. This person has a big shine. This person has a big light. I've met with people and worked with people who, to me, in my mind, why haven't you been doing this sooner? Why haven't you started this sooner? You know? And they'll tell me, well, I didn't know I could. I'm like, why do you think you couldn't? I never had anyone to support me and show up for me in this way, or even made me believe that I could. I pour into everyone. Let me tell you guys something. I don't see competition. I don't see opposition. I don't have this here, but I want to talk about moving in opposition. Really moving. Moving in opposition does you such a disservice. Moving in opposition, it can motivate you for the time being, but it does such a disservice. I won't go too much on here. I have so many videos talking about it, and because I see it all the time when people decide to move in opposition. They act like it's something that fuels them and motivates them. Moving in opposition only hurts you. Because we can see, as outsiders, we can see it. Even the people who don't want to tell you, they can see it. We see it. And it's sad, and it's small, and it's beneath you. Some people are just there. It's beneath you. And some people are just there to do exactly that. To show you, are you going to stoop this low? And you have to decide. You have to decide. You have to decide. You're better, you're smarter, and you know better. And they say, when you know better, you have to do better. And that is the real thing. When you know better, you have to do better. You have to. It's a requirement of knowing better. You have to do better. I'm not going to go too much into opposition because I feel like I talk about it a lot. But just know, all of it is distraction. All of it is distraction. And if you allow it to, it's what it's there for. And if you're the focus, then there's no competition. If you're the focus, there's no competition. And I really want you to hear me when I say this. If you're the focus, there's no competition. Some people will envy you. Some people will jealous of you, go out of their way to have what you have, to pretend that they're doing better than you. And there's nothing wrong with that. Let them. Because if you're the focus, you already won. You're you. If their focus is on you, you won. You're you. And I talk to my sisters like this because as I'm getting older for myself, I'm seeing that you don't even have to want a problem with someone for someone to have a problem with you. And it is just the reality. Truly blessed people, they don't take people down. They don't see the need to speak negatively, to create perceptions, to create a narrative. So if you feel like that is happening, even from whatever party it is from, it doesn't matter, because if they're conducting themselves in that way, those ain't your people. If they're going out of their way to tear someone else down, to make others feel small so they can feel big about themselves, they're not that big. And those ain't your people. And sometimes people only know what they learned, what they have been through. Somebody that's in their own lane is not worried about nobody else is in their lane. And I think I have encountered so many people who are focused on other people and other people's in their situations that they don't have the time to even pay attention to their own situation. They don't have the time to pay attention to their own situation. They don't have the time to even know what problems lie in their closet because they're paying attention and judging so many other people. I want y'all to take these takeaways and really listen to me. You are not in competition with anyone. You're not in competition with anyone. Not a single soul. Okay, babes? Don't allow outside noise to trick you, to swindle you. Don't allow it. You know what you carry. But most importantly, you know what race you're on. You know what you're running after. You know what you're running towards. You know your stops. You know your detours. Don't allow anyone to distract you. Don't allow anyone to speak for you, because that happens a lot. Stop giving your energy to the competition. Stop allowing poor behavior to move you. Simple. You know your why. You know what race you're running. No one's ever running a race. And what is most important is what you decide to do for yourself. Not outside of reactions, not outside of opposition. Your why is so much more important than anything that you will experience. Your why is so much more important than any small validation that you will get from anyone. Know what race you're running, and know that it's an alone one, and know that it is yours. And know that outside noise is just that, outside noise. The only truly thing that matters is you and what you decide to do on your race. I hope you guys leave with so many takeaways from this video. These are real life tips that I know will help. My sisters are young. They're barely under 25. I'm barely getting old. But, life under 30 is crazy. It is. But one thing I will say, and I've seen from other women in other situations in my life, it always gets better, and change is always coming, and change is inevitable. But focus on you. Focus on your why, your race. That's the only thing that truly matters. Let everything else be outside.